Good morning to day 266. Overcast today. Quite windy on the beach this morning. Okay, a little overview on what happened yesterday. Bear in mind the rooms were shut up. And then we'll talk about what today's plan actually is going to be. So today, obviously, we need to get in here finished off so we can start focusing on the garage. So at the moment, obviously, we've got the plasterboard sheets up. So we've got another sheet to go in here, another 4 sheets to go in there, and then the offcuts to go down the side, which are around about 12 inches, unfortunately. So yeah, another sheet in there, another 4 sheets there, so 5 full sheets, and then 4 12-inch sheets all the way along, and that is then the ceiling done, and we can then get away with getting that screeded with the compound. And then we've also got to insulate and board this as well. So I'm not too sure, I didn't ask, but hopefully they've actually enabled the uprights themselves, the 2x4 uprights. Hopefully they're wide enough apart to have the actual insulation going straight in, so we can cut them into what looks like 4.5 foot to 5 foot lengths. We can shove them straight in, hopefully. I think, if I remember right, they come 22 or 23 inches, if I remember rightly, wide. But I've only bought one. So I'm looking at it thinking it might be 2. But anyway, what we need to do is plasterboard the outside, insulate the inside, and then we can then put the construction board on the wall, on this wall here, to the corner, and then around this corner here, and then back around here. So a little U-shape, 4 foot, 8 foot, 4 foot. That's concrete board. We'll put the concrete board straight onto the wall itself. So that'll be 2 boards on here. We can't do anything on that wall until the plumber does the mechanics behind the mixer, etc. This is 10 times better now, thank God. And then we get Smithy on it. This was like a labourer we had on Sunday. I think he was in a bad mood. Or was having an epileptic fit whilst he was doing one of the two. So the linear drain has been cut here, look. So that's now for the linear drain. We've got to decide what we're going to do with this pipe. In an ideal world, we need the plumber now to put 2 90s on there to try and, one, take it this way, then it needs to come over slightly because it's off centre. I don't think we're going to be able to do it. We're probably going to have to go straight on the one that's already there. So we'll let him deal with that when he arrives. But we need the mix and everything in there so we can get that plastered in. We need it connected up to the water that's obviously, as you can see, capped off here. It's really weird, I'm pointing there, but actually it is here. So anyway, that needs to be obviously plumbed in and fixed in. Then we're obviously going to need to mortar this base piece itself into the sloping that we want for the water. So again, from the walls, you want to have a slight angle in and then into the tray, backwards into the tray, sideways into the tray, and then from the rear, a slight flat with a run, and then a steeper run down to the actual linear itself, like we did in the other one. So we need to get that done at some stage, but that is something that can be done after the plaster's done. Yeah, so it's obviously then insulating the inside and plasterboard the inside. So that's something we need to get done. I think all the electrics are pretty much done, so that's done. Plumbing's done. External switch is done. External power into that room is done. So yeah, it's just a case of plasterboarding one side and getting the insulation installed. Today we've got to make a bit of noise, so we've got to cut into the concrete on all the door jambs to actually now create the little slopes. So we need to do the cutting so we can actually do the quietness later. Same thing here as well, this will be cut so we can actually put a little slope there. The door will sit up on something, so I've got to go and source the door today. This window jamb, I don't know why I thought it wasn't done, but it has been done. So this rear window jamb was the one that was the last one to be done. So yeah, the window jamb itself is all done all the way around. Again, same thing. We're going to have to cut into the floor itself here to obviously make the actual slope itself. And the slope is just about making sure when the rain comes down and hits, it runs away. Otherwise, it runs in. So yeah, that needs to be done on all of them. So we've got the 4-foot window over here. We've got the 6-foot behind these panels here. We've got the 6-foot bifold. We've got the 2-foot window here. We've got the 2-foot window in the bathroom, and we've got the door at the other end. So we need to get those cut today. And the reason why you cut, by the way, into the concrete is so that when you make the concrete's got a way of bedding into the existing concrete. Concrete and concrete once they're cured, one's cured, one's not. They don't like bonding. So you cut into it, you put weldcrete on it, and then the new concrete beds in, and actually, one, the weldcrete helps it bond, but two, the gaps help it bite in and bond better. These were done yesterday. Not the smoothest job in the world, I must admit, nowhere near as good as these ones. So I think they forgot about them, which is a shame because they don't look great. But anyway, they're better than they were. In here, we've actually got a bit of an issue with the mains. The mains is right underneath here, and it goes into the house. Now that we're actually doing what we're doing, there's not a lot of room to get to the mains valve. So apparently the plumber's got to move that down. And this here, let me spin it around. This chasing that's been done down the wall here, as far as I'm aware, is actually for the pipe to come out here. So we have an external pipe on the wall for water for the patio. So that's been done, which has created quite a bit of mess down there. But one of the biggest issues we've got is the mains on-off into the house is in this corner. And apparently it's, now that we've actually laid all the joists along the wall, it's too close to actually get the thing turned on and off. So anyway, we didn't want to spend a lot of time in the cottage. We were going to do it later on, but I thought whilst the guys are here, let's just get it all done. So at the moment, the electricians will turn up and start doing the lights at some stage today. We're obviously going to finish off the plasterboard. Once the plasterboard's finished, we're going to be putting a little bit of glass in here. We'll have probably a little logo put in there, the cottage or something like that. So that's going to be a glass frame in there. We're going to go and source the door today. This is going to be plasterboarded in and out and insulated. So hopefully by the end of play today, we should get all of that plasterboard on and at least most of the plasterboard on the outside of here and the insulation in. And then we can start sweeping up and sweeping out and getting potentially the real floor put into here. So get this taken all back up, sort out the joist because we still haven't got the joist fixed into the floor. So we've got to rebolt all of those in. So all the way along there and all along this wall here have got to be rebolted. And we ideally need to do that today purely because the next door neighbour's got some people moving into an Airbnb. And what we don't want to be doing is cracking drilling noises and frightening them away. We've also got do along here as well. So we've got to cut into the concrete here and the cut and concrete here as well. So that when we do the actual slopes to stop the water going off, we can concrete those. We're just trying to think of anything that makes noise. We need to try and get it done sooner rather than later, just so that we don't pee next door off. I really do feel for them. They have an Airbnb just here. And they've had a real problem with people wanting to stay there with us making the noise. So I want to try and get that as much noise done today as possible because they have people moving in tomorrow. Other than that, pretty much we're going to be sealing the floor in here today. So the painter's now arrived today. He had a day off yesterday. He's going to be scrubbing the floor all the way along here and into the living area. And he's going to seal that floor today. I'm going to finish off the bathroom. So I'm going to plasterboard the cistern next. I want to cut the bits out of the back of the unit so I can actually get the water and the downpipes into the sink unit and get the sink unit fixed to the wall. I want to get I'll get the sink out, but until the plumber actually puts the tap in, I can't silicone the sink in. I want to make sure we've got the parts so that I can get the toilet, once I'm plastered, all the holes cut, get that connected up as well and get that installed with a seat. We should have an operational bathroom by the end of play today if the plumber turns up and does his part. He's meant to be here at 11 o'clock. But George, you know what 11 o'clock means. So I'll see you around about 4 o'clock. Well, I'm going to stalk you today because you've been a bit unreliable, so I'll make sure that I'll give you a bit of our time. Other than that, it'd be good to try and get a door on here today and make it look a bit presentable, so we need to do that. And the other thing we need to do as well is the door frame down here. So we've looked at the height. The height is very small, so we're probably going to have to make our own frame in there. And we're going to have to look at the 2 doors we bought, because we've got to trim a large proportion of the top and the bottom door off to get them to go in. So I need to make sure we can actually do it with the doors I've purchased. So I'm going to have a quick look at those now. We may have to change the doors. But we need doors with glass to let the light in. So what I can't afford to do is go and make 2 doors or buy some panel doors. It really needs to be something that we can fit and trim. But I think we've got to trim a good 6 inches, 7 inches off the door, top and bottom. So let's have a quick look at that today. Other than that, Bristol is going to be plastering the outside. So this back wall here and all of this here, he's going to start plastering that. Hopefully the mason's got his car sorted out so he can arrive as well, so he can jump on that with them. That's going to be the plan. We want to try and get that plastered. We want to try and get the carpenters finishing in here, because once the carpenters finish in here, they've got to get onto here and start boxing up this roof here. The box beam going all the way around that building has got to be done sooner rather than later. So anyway, that's something. That's a plan. It's trying to get as much done in the cottage so we can get the guys out here finishing the garage, because the garage is at the moment misfiring a little bit, and we need to get that done and dusted sooner rather than later. Other than that, I'll check in a little bit later on. It's only 8:30 now. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Okay, quick 11 o'clock update. So, sorry about the wind. So some of the noisy parts I've talked about have been done. There was a bit of rebar in there, so we've had that cut out. Told you about the bit near the pool. This is the concrete we've got to lay. Let's spin it. So this is the bit of concrete we've got to lay across here to stop the water coming off the side of the pool. So this is an infinity edge, obviously, so the water will run round here off this side and off the front. So we've done it on that side there to take the little concrete ledge up, and the same with the concrete ledge here as well. The window ledges are being cut as we speak. It's not all done, but there's one that's been cut, for instance, and that's got to be broken out because we've got to actually build up a little step and a slope to stop the water going in, so the concrete needs somewhere to bed into. So as you can see, that's been chiseled out. This one needs to be done. The door frame here is being done. And then in here, we have a completed ceiling. So all plasterboarded through, which is awesome. Coming through to here as well. In here, we're going to start plasterboard inside here as well, and the electrician's now starting to put the lights in. Go back round so we can see. So the electricians are now starting to cut the lights, and they'll hang them, so we've got light in there as well. So as you can see, there's a cable here. We'll do the cut of the 3-inch. We've got a cable here, cable here. So that will start happening. So that will be, so we've actually got some light in there. Mason's here today, so we're plastering that side. So we've got one plaster on this side, one plaster on the other. We'll see who meets in the middle first. In here we've been scraping and pulling up on the floor, ready to be coated. Yeah, babe? My beautiful wife. And the bathroom suite is carrying on. Okay, so it's all plasterboarded in now, waiting for the plumber. So that's all cut in. The system is actually installed. So these are systems from the UK, really basic, really simple to install. Ideally need some PTF tape on the joints to make sure they're sealed. So that's loose at the moment, just to remind me that that's got to be done. But again, all this is all rubberized in and done. Flexi hose is needed after the cap's taken off. Connection around to here to the water. Sink, quite a nice little pleasant looking sink. Again, the actual plumber needs to come and set this up, so none of this up against the wall at the moment, but the holes have been pre-cut, including the holes into the back of the unit itself for the pipes, etc. So it's centralised on the wall in between here and here, and I'll also be lasering the lines in a minute and putting the holes in the wall ready for the LED mirror to be connected up. Not sure we need a shaver socket here, but you never know, you might need power here, so that's been put on the wall for that. I'm sure that is probably also feeding the electrical mirror power at some stage as well. I'm sure they'll feed it through here and come through to here. But yeah, so very basic obviously. Pedestal toilet with seat. This will be painted in and filled white once the plumber's done his part. We'll find a nice wooden top to go on here. There's one thing I've struggled with here actually, finding a nice wood to stain to go on there. So at the moment we've just put some marine ply on the other ones for now, just until we find something. And then obviously the window from England, which we're still waiting on. I've had no correspondence from them at all. The door is reasonably solid, needs to be painted properly. Oh, one of my bugbears. Absolute bugbear. There's no need to be putting paint on bloody hinges and stuff like that. Again, not the nicest job here either, so might need to also take that off and get that all repaired and cleaned up, and then get the door painted properly and then fix it back on when we're ready. This obviously needs some satin wood, so we've kept it as it is for now, just because obviously we've got workmen going in and out and all sorts, so it's been pre-primed, as is that door there. The furniture we've had on here is a lockable one, so we've had that put on, but we've actually brought over gold furniture, door furniture, which I'll show you actually. Let me show you very quickly. Show you around here very quickly. So we've got hinges as well. Nice little gold. So yeah, that's pretty much what all the door handles in here will look like eventually. Gold handles. Just trying to source the actual mechanism that goes in here as well, because it didn't come with it. So the English one, by the way, is 3 inches. The American one is 3¼ inches. The drill hole for the, I suppose you call it the handle spine, is 57mm English, 60 American. So you can't actually get the American to line up with the European straight English, because also the square that goes through, the square rod that goes through that operates the handle is also bigger for European and it's smaller on a US. So I'm just trying to source those from the island, which it looks like I may have found somebody. So I'm just waiting to get some prices on that and availability. Then we can get all that done as well at the same time. Other than that, out here, obviously we've got the inner wall that's been plastered already, and the back side has been plastered already here, and he's going round the side as we speak. We've got the carpenter's table around here, which we do need to potentially look at moving, but that's now going up, which is nice, and we're starting on the other side, which is nice. So fingers crossed we should get those met in the middle and get that plastered in for today. And then what I need is the carpenters coming out of obviously doing the plastering, as I said this morning, and start doing the box up work for the beam, which they call it a ring beam. Because like I said, it's going to go from this building here all the way around this building, back again to the house. They call it a ring beam because it literally rings the whole circuit together and keeps the building tight together. So that gets poured about a foot as far as I'm aware. And then once that's poured, there's a couple of more rows of blocks to go up on top, and then you've then got the main roof and beam that will be poured in one. So anyway, making a bit of progress, so fingers crossed more progress will be made. So it's only 11 o'clock, so I'll update you as we go. 4:15, shutting up the building, ceiling all finished off, lights in, first part of the wall going on this side here, insulation and inner boards tomorrow. This side here has been left open, 1 because I didn't get around to it, 2 because water comes through the door frame. Come on, Smithy. Okay, what else we got? So the tracks have been cut in here. So each one of the window frames, sorry about the wind, I've had these little bits, channels cut out. So this is the bit where the concrete will sit in there. So there'll be a 2-inch step coming down to a groove to stop the water going in. So the water will come down the windows and drop off. But the concrete has to be channeled like that so it actually connects with each other. So they've all been done. The floor inside is being rolled as we speak. The wall is being plastered on this side.
What are you doing out here?
Masons at conflict. Anyway, so here's been plastered. The other side's been plastered. Not too sure how far they've got down here. This bit's been done, that bit's been done on the inside, so it's just maybe the middle bit needs doing. We saw yesterday, obviously, that the saw has been done. We're still waiting for some more to turn up. I don't think. Sorry about the wind. It's up here, so as you can see, it needs sanding down and the line cutting in, but the concrete board has been done. That's ready for sand and a paint. In here, we've not finished the suite because the plumber's not turned up as always, but in here what's happened is the suite is as was this morning. Still waiting for the plumber to turn up to connect up the water to the cistern, make sure that all this is PTF taped and sealed, get the taps cut through the back and ensure that obviously the traps are put in, sinks in, taps in. Once that's done, then we can finish off this. But one thing we have done obviously is just run through here from a ceiling. So as you can see, a lot more shinier, and it dries bloody quick. It says 4 to 6 hours like I said yesterday, but you can sort of walk on it within 15-20 minutes. So it's not perfect, it still does show all the imperfections, but that was one thing we wanted to see the imperfections. So tomorrow it's going to be the bathrooms and the bedrooms. I'm not too sure that the bathrooms would have been done. So yeah, we pretty much ceased it from this side, and then tomorrow we can take it down the hallway that way, and do the bathrooms as well. Other than that, it is 4:15 and the guys are wrapping up, so we're going to be pretty much ready. I'm assuming that the plumber is not going to come, so it's a shame because we have about 4 or 5 things that we need to get done as well. The mains water number 1, bathroom number 2, shower head, mixer, etc. in the bathroom of the cottage as soon as possible as well. So at the moment, that's unfortunately what we're waiting for. So I'll have to chase him and kick his backside later on today. Other than that, we're done. So please like and subscribe. Obviously, do your comments as always. I will respond this evening. And here's to another day on planet Earth.